Mama Toto, where you go with the flow. To know that now that you have bled, you are capable of creating life. This is a big honor. I'm getting goosebumps.
What do you think the first lie society teaches girls about being a woman?
What's coming to me is it's not a lie, it's an absence. There is no rite of passage. There's no clear containers of celebrating your passage into womanhood. And I feel the fact that we chose...
They become the first place where we learn shame.
She said, I am 100% sure I used my beauty and my sexuality and my allure to make my way up to where I am.
Okay.
And I know for a fact that my looks played 99%.
And what do you think about this?
It's very problematic because women internalize this. If our whole reality is based on how people are seeing us, then we're actually doing the opposite. It's sabotage. We're not allowing our real beauty to shine because real beauty will only shine from the inside.
Madiha, I'm so excited to have you here today. You are a women coach, a soulful entrepreneur who helps Arab women specifically to reconnect to their power, to their femininity, by guiding them to find the essence of their soul. First of all, let me honor this space, this energy. I'm so grateful to have you here. You know, we've been planning to meet a year ago.
It's true.
But you had a baby. You are now a mom to a newborn, and I know how much presence and time and care that requires. So thank you for having this time today.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm so grateful to be here and that we finally managed to find this time together.
So let's begin from the root. Before we go anywhere, I want to start by the foundation because everything we're going to talk about right now, it comes from energy. And each one of us, male or female, we have two kinds of energies, the masculine and the feminine. And both are very important to have. But let's focus today on the feminine energy, which I call the divine feminine energy. Beyond the beauty, beyond the softness, beyond all the stereotypes, what does feminine energy really mean?
Feminine energy or soul energy is feeling. It's going inwards. It's recognizing that in this fast-paced modern world where so much is asked of us as women, as men, as humans, to look outward and chase our dreams externally, it's an invitation for women and men, like you said, because a healthy man is also a man who is connected with his feminine. To slow down, pause, and recognize that we have an internal life, an inner life. Throughout our whole life, with everything we've lived and done and accomplished and experienced and relationships and work, there has always been an inner narrative, a story happening in our inner world, in our feelings, in our gut feeling, in our heart. And this is the most important story we live. And that's why we're attracted to art, to culture, to poetry, to films, because it's almost like these spaces where we find somebody can give voice to this inner world. But we don't have to wait for those spaces. We can actually be the heroes and the heroines of our own story where we listen to that inner voice. We hear the call and we follow it. And for me, that's the divine or the sacred feminine. It's a calling inwards so that the deeper I go inwards, the more expansion I create inwards, the more my external life will start to reflect that, rather than just be chasing things on the outside, where you get to a point where on the outside things look perfect, but on the inside there's a big emptiness. And this is what so many women are facing today.
The emptiness.
The emptiness.
You said something like reflecting on your what you were saying. Feminine energy, it's about emotions, softness, creativity. While masculine is the structure, the focus, the get things done mode. How can we have a balance between these two?
I have read the perfect chapter about this in Jason Silva's most recent book. He literally has a section on what the feminine journey to creativity is and what the masculine journey to creativity is. So if you're somebody more in your masculine, or if you're a man and you're amazing at creating structure and containers and this and that, what you miss is the muse. It's the channel. It's the essence that actually makes your creation powerful. So when you're too much in your masculine and you're creating these structures, but it lacks feeling. So like when you go to a hotel that looks amazing and this and that, but there's no
Soul.
There's no soul. And I remember once we went to Maldives, you know, one of those like 1K a night hotels, supposed to be the best experience ever. Of course, externally it was like heaven, but it lacked that feeling. And me and Ihab, my partner, my husband, maybe many people know him, maybe some don't. If you don't, go see his channel.
Watch our episode.
We were talking so much, you know, what's missing? Why does everything look good, but we're feeling هيك في شيء ناقص? Because the year before, or a few years before, we went to our honeymoon to Maldives, to a different resort that had so much essence and soul. And similar location, but completely two different approaches, completely different experience. So it was lacking the feminine, the second resort, the soul, the message, the something from deep inside that you want the person to experience. And that's why even in business, the essence, the soul is so important. It's what actually gives the client the experience, makes them want to come back. For the feminine, and recently I've been noticing I'm a bit more in this, where there is inspiration, there is flow. I want to write poetry, I want to write my book, I want to study film. There's so much this overpouring of creativity. But the structure, I keep starting a book and either losing my laptop crashes, or I don't finish the book, or I start a poetry collection and I don't complete it. And that's where I need the masculine, the structure. And one of the people I coached with some years ago, Rebecca Campbell, she really embodies this balance. She's one of the most successful, you know, in the sacred feminine empowerment field, because she has accomplished, right? So she has channeled the sacred feminine in her oracle decks, in her books, in her courses, but she's found structures. And I remember when I was coaching with her, I wanted to coach to write the book I was writing at the time.
Okay.
And the first call, we started not with what's the message in the book. She's like, okay, let's start with the structure.
Okay.
And I felt a bit disappointed at first. I was like, but I want to talk about the message and da. And she's like, okay, let's start with the proposal for the publishers and the structure. And then I realized that's what makes her successful, that she really merges the masculine structure, the proposal, the book chapters, the connection with the publishers, blah, 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 with the channel that she has. And this is what a lot of women struggle with, that we have the channel, we have the ideas, we have the passion, but we don't stop enough to have a call with somebody who tells us, okay, so what's the structure? How are you going to publish that book? How are you going to get that poetry out into the world? And for me, I'm in this moment of realizing I want to be more accountable to the structure, because even if I have all this inspiration, especially as a mom, when you give birth, your channel just explodes open, your creative channel. And now I just need containers to hold this inspiration so that they don't go leaky in a million directions.
You know, some women, they get disconnected from this energy as a whole, and especially from themselves. And part of the reason why they get this disconnected is because the society teaches them to. From a really young age, rules are very fast. Be quiet, be calm, be polite, be this, be that. So without even noticing, we grow up shaping ourselves around these rules instead of shaping ourselves around who we actually are. Based on your experiences with girls and women, what do you think the first lie society teaches girls about being a woman?
What's coming to me is, it's not a lie, it's an absence. There is no rite of passage. There's no clear containers of celebrating your passage into womanhood. And I feel the fact that we chose at a soul level to be a woman means we chose a set of experiences and blueprints that we carry no matter where we go. And in our society today, women don't have rites of passage. And when we're 14 and we start puberty, you see a lot of this discomfort with teenagehood and all of this, both men and women, because men also don't have the rite of passages. And in ancient cultures and ancient societies, there was such a respect for these transitions, because we are really changing at such a deep level to know what it means to be a woman, to know that now that you have bled, you are capable of creating life. This is a big honor. I'm getting goosebumps. This is a big absence that we see in our society. And that's why one of the activities we do in our, there's a retreat I do in Bali called Divine Beauty. I literally open space for women to have the rite of passage. The rite of passage they should have had at the age of 14, not at the age of 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And yet they have this cathartic experience, because it's a moment where they really get to step into their womanhood and really know and enjoy and celebrate and be celebrated for being a woman. And some women I've spoken to, luckily, but they're like 0.00, they really had parents and families that celebrated that. And I remember one woman in one of the programs I did, and she said, I literally had a rite of passage for my daughter. And I felt so proud. I was like...
Arab?
Arab.
Okay.
Arab and Jordanian. Open-minded. She's been through my courses, so she's learned, but also she took the initiative and offered this rite of passage. So I think rites of passage are so important. Like, I can just imagine if at the age of 14, I was allowed or invited into a container where I would be given this opportunity as a rite of passage to become a woman, how different things would have been. Because in our teenage years, we feel so lost, right? We don't know. We're changing. We're feeling attraction. That our bodies are changing. But we don't know what to do with this. And I feel rites of passage prepare you for change. And so I would say, rather than a lie, and I'm sure there's a billion lies, which we can go into at some point, but this absence, that there is no rite of passage, and same for marriage, and same for motherhood, I felt the same absence. There are no rites of passage into very different stages of our lives. And this absence creates a big vacuum. We change radically, but almost like our psyche, our emotions, our bodies, they don't know what happened. It's like it becomes a trauma because we've changed, but we haven't been prepared for this change.
We have not been prepared. Also, they've been directing us to do this and to do that. And you know, Madiḥa, all these rules, they're not just about behavior. They go straight to the body. And our bodies, our temples, they become the first place where we learn shame. Girls learn body shaming before they learn self-love. From childhood. Also, be skinny, be flat, be pretty, be perfect. We are judged for curves. We are judged for no curves. We are judged for hair, judged for no hair. It's like a pure pressure and a pure control. And now, with the social media, the perfect body is not only an image. It's a standard pushed into every girl's face. The question is, how can we drop the shame that it was never ours to carry?
When I find out, I'll let you know. Because I feel we each struggle with different levels and cycles of this body shaming. Now, having gained so much weight after my birth, I feel like the things I thought I completed those cycles. I cleared my mental baggage. I healed my trauma from youth. And then here I was, after giving birth, gaining weight, and facing somehow the same cycle. I feel like when we begin to experience ourselves as women, because we said woman is soul, it's interiority, but woman is also matter. Woman is body. A woman to fully feels herself in her body. The body is the only place that can allow us to slow time, to go into that dimension, let's say. It's not going to be in the mind. It's not necessarily going to be in our meditations. It's going to be when we're dancing. It's going to be when we're feeling
ourselves.
When we're having a massage, or we are with somebody we love, or anything that makes our body feel really alive.
True.
What happens when we're young, and like I mentioned puberty, it's the time where your body begins to transform into becoming a woman. So you're starting to notice, oh, I have a body. It looks like this. It attracts this kind of attention, these kind of words. I remember when I was young, because I lived abroad, I was telling you, I lived in New York, Rome, Indonesia, Tunis. Like, I lived all around the planet growing up. So we would live abroad, and in the summers return home to Jordan, where my family lives. And every single time, I remember the first thing I would hear when I walk into the living room, the whole family sitting and enjoying, and my family is very close-knit, and we always gather for the summers, for the winters, very beautiful environment. And yet, at the same time, every single time I would enter, there was always a comment on my body. Nahfane, samnane. It was like a measurement from year to year to year, who I was, based on what they were seeing in my body. And so we learn to internalize these narratives, that the first thing we are being received by is how we look, rather than who we are and how we feel. So for me, the narrative that started to internalize is my values very attached to how I'm looking. If I've lost weight, they're celebrating me. They're happy, I've done well, it's a good year. If it's a year where I've gained weight, or let's say I have acne, or whatever's happening in those years, suddenly I feel like I did something wrong. I feel shame. I remember we used to go summers to Thailand because my grandfather was the Thai consul in Jordan, which is so random, right? Like, he's a Jordanian man, but he's a Thai consul, and he used to travel around the world gathering exotic teas from Thailand, India.
Beautiful.
Very beautiful. So in the summers, he had connections in Thailand, and we would go enjoy the summer there. But I remember every summer I had this feeling of I need to hide my body. if we were at the beach, I would always like wait for everyone to go, hide my body in the towel. When no one's looking, I'd run to the beach. Even at a young age, I could even remember when I was like 7 or 8 in school in Indonesia, I would skip the swimming lessons because I didn't want to be seen in my swimsuit. So this stuff goes so deep and starts so early, which means the work we do to unravel it also takes time. And I feel we need to be gentle with ourselves, be aware of our inner narratives, and keep working on that releasing. Because sometimes it's not us, sometimes it's our mothers, our grandmothers, our lineage, the whole lineage of women who have been taught to be objectified, which means to value myself through what others see in me. If they see me as beautiful, I can, I remember I went to a talk by the president of Barnard, even in the US. I almost went to Barnard at Columbia. But I went to grad school at Columbia. So I attended her talk, and she was saying, she's the president of Barnard, right? So like really high level. She said, I am 100% sure I used my beauty and my sexuality and my allure to make my way up to where I am.
Okay.
And I know for a fact that my looks played 99%.
And what do you think about this?
It's very problematic because women internalize this. And I do believe as women naturally, we are our journey with beauty is a real one. We love beauty. We are expressions of beauty naturally.
Right.
But beauty comes when you feel amazing inside, your beauty will shine.
Right.
When your beauty doesn't shine, it means you're feeling shit inside. It's easy. And yet, if our whole reality is based on how people are seeing us, then we're actually doing the opposite. It's sabotage. We're not allowing our real beauty to shine. Because real beauty will only shine from the inside. What she was living was not beauty. She was using her sexual allure to rise up, which is what society, it's almost like it allows you that as a woman. That part you're allowed because you are being valued by the masculine gaze. Are you beautiful? Do you look presentable? And yet, some women who reach, I was telling you, the highest levels of beauty externally, they look like if there was a cover of Elle, and I think these people I'm talking about, they have been on Elle, on Vogue, that I've worked with, and still they do not feel beautiful. So obviously they are not working with real beauty. They are working with this packaging that the male gaze has imposed, even through women, through our mothers, through our grandmothers.
Yes.
Because to walk into a room after not seeing your family for months and the first thing they say,
you gained weight,
samnani.
We've been all through this.
That really hurts. And the years where I would gain weight, I would feel so much shame and embarrassed, like I did something wrong.
Do you feel this act is somehow an act of narcissism?
What do you mean? Tell me more.
Like when a mom controls what her daughter looks like. Is she a narcissist mom, or is she just like giving her the trauma that she used to live in?
I know we love this whole narcissistic view because the truth is everybody is a narcissist. Everybody has a strong I that I project onto how I see the world or how things are meant to be. So our mom narcissist? Probably yes. Our dad's narcissist? Probably yes. Are we narcissists? Probably yes.
How do we stop this trauma? How do you stop from giving this? Now you are a mom for a newborn baby. How do you stop this trauma from going to your baby?
Yes. So the other part of that is, even though we can call it narcissist or not, the issue there is not whether somebody is a narcissist. The issue is the projection of their own reality, traumas, like you said, and wounds to their children. And I feel when, like you said, mothers have this almost some kind of story they want to give their children, it really comes from a place of love. They want them to have what maybe they couldn't have. So maybe your mom, it was so much about beauty that she knows to be successful in the world, you really have to look good. So she's projecting, but from love. Maybe another mother, it was all about education. If you had educated yourself, you would live your dreams. So every parent who is not conscious, who is not awake, who is not really studying what they're passing on. So what's the solution? What's the remedy? Like you said, how do we not pass it on? By being awake, by being aware of what are the programs I am passing on. And that also means, so even as a new mom now, I've been a mom for 11 months, I catch myself. I really catch myself sometimes saying words, or like yesterday we were driving back late from Abu Dhabi, and my baby, she was tired in the car, and I'm telling my friends or something like she's tired, ta'bani or something, and they're saying don't use that word because then her body will internalize this feeling of I'm tired. She's actually sleepy. So sometimes it's really micro tuning. because our children are absorbing everything, especially the first 2 years, and then 7 after that. But 2, it's almost like they're just sponges. Anything we say, anything we feel. I remember there's some nights I would have a lot of emotions. I cried myself to sleep one night. We've all been there, right?
Yeah, of course.
Maybe this new moon in Scorpio, everyone was having that, right? Anyways, the baby was crying in her sleep.
Oh.
Her nervous system is directly wired with my nervous system.
Oh.
And so I feel the impact is deeper than we think. It's not just what we tell them when they're 12 and 13. It's everything we are. They are absorbing it from
So we
A
transfer
to Z.
all our emotions and feelings.
Everything. And that's why the most important work a parent can do is on herself. It's not in what she's teaching, because the parent can teach you something, but part of you feels no, because they're not embodying it. So if your mom is like, yeah, be fit, but she's not super fit and taking care of her body, then something like backfires. If your mom is just being fit and taking care of her body and loving her body, you will naturally be living that without resentment, without feeling like, why is she forcing me to do something? Because naturally that's what it means to be a parent. It's almost to pass on some kind of blueprint. So we have to be so aware what we're passing on. And I feel now so much of the inner work I'm doing, literally my purpose is I don't want to pass it on to my baby.
Yeah.
Because I know she's drinking it all in, whether I'm saying it or not, just what I'm being, what I'm feeling. And that night where I saw her crying in her sleep, it was really, it's sad. It's, oh my God.
Aww.
And at the same time, it was so important for me to see that, because now I know even if I don't say anything, she is receiving my emotional field and my nervous system just directly.
Yeah. Let me comment about the family part. Some families and some mothers, they don't do this act from love, to be honest. They do it from an act of protecting the family image. How do we deal with this?
I feel everything lives on a spectrum. So maybe this specific mom or group of moms you're saying,
especially in the Arab world.
Yeah. They're doing it because they're afraid. So, for example, a place I can relate to this, when I moved back to Jordan at the age of 25, after, studying, doing 3 master's degrees at the best universities in the world, traveling alone to India, like really living my freedom.
Right.
And then I came back to Jordan, and I wanted to live alone with my friend from grad school. She had moved to Jordan to study Arabic. And I had lived alone. I had lived alone even in India. I almost got kidnapped in India. Like, I have lived that freedom. When I came back to Jordan, my mother wouldn't let me live alone. And I knew the reason wasn't because I'm not shaved, because she cared what people would think. And so I feel this is a very deep programming in the Arab world. But me and my friends, we wanted to write a theater script. It's called Jiran. But the Jiran, they're like a group of spiders. Because we always think, what's the neighbor's going to say, right?
Yeah.
And this is a deep cultural programming that harms our generation, which we want to live our truth. We want to live our freedom. And yet we're facing a generation that really cares what other people think. And I feel one of the things I learned in my life, it's not to fight the culture. The culture has been here longer than us. There was a family constellation I was doing, and one of the characters was the culture. And he was a strong character, Have you done family constellation before?
No.
It's interesting. It's almost like a theater play,
Okay.
where you get to replay certain events or energies or, dynamics in your life.
Interesting.
So culture came up. And one of the things he said is that I've been here longer than you. You have to respect me. When I was younger, I used to just want to fight the culture all the time. They're wrong, like that thing in Jordan where I couldn't live alone. I was so angry and fighting and, like the culture is bad. And then I realized we're not going to get anywhere because the culture is somehow deeply rooted. You spoke of roots. It's deeply in our roots. And in many ways, our culture is beautiful. So we don't want to also villainize the culture. And yet in the places where our own values don't match what the culture is projecting, I feel it's having deeper conversations that will allow the breakthrough. So, mom or whoever you're talking to in a situation, I really understand that you care about me and you care what people will say and you just want to protect me and you don't want my reputation or whatever. But I need to make these decisions for myself now. I know you care about me. So that kind of gentleness in healing this, rather than, my old rebellious self that was like, I'm just going to cut it and I'm going to live my freedom. And it just doesn't work. Because we belong to our lineages and we belong to our families and we belong to our culture in some ways. And even though me and Ihab were very committed to creating the new culture, the new earth, living heaven on earth, but that's not going to happen by fighting the old. We don't want to fight. We don't want to waste our energy fighting.
Just want to
accept, have real conversations, honor. So more honoring for that. I understand, but this is the choice. And I learned this from Ihab, actually, because I used to be more in the fire, like, no, it's not right, They, they care what people think. I don't want. And he's like, breathe, woman, And eventually now I don't feel as much the need to fight the culture, but to understand where it's coming from, and then just choose something different. And maybe if I cannot live alone in Jordan,
they don't let you choose. What if you don't have the freedom to choose?
So, for example, I didn't have the freedom back then to choose because of all this pressure. I moved to Malaysia. I got a job at Mind Valley, and I lived alone.
Okay.
So sometimes what we need to do is bring ourselves out of that situation. So maybe come to Dubai. Like maybe you live in a country where that qama' is a bit so intense, the oppression or the culture or the weight of that, like tribal kind of mentality. So leave, come to Dubai. Dubai is an open-minded place.
What if they don't have even the freedom to move or to travel or to go to another country?
That doesn't exist. That's a limitation. The prison is always in our mind. Maybe they cannot go tomorrow, but maybe that's the dream they're building towards. So first they build their skills to make money, because what's the first thing that gives you liberation? Money. So you learn to develop your gifts, your skills, your services. And with today's online world, there's no excuses.
100%.
If you can edit videos, you can make, $1,000 a month easy. So develop your skills and find the way out. And again, you don't have to fight it. And sometimes some people fight it. I have a friend, she's amazing. She's like a wild woman, Huriya Bariya, she called herself, and she's a traveler, and she's from Yemen.
Okay.
And her family is very conservative, and she really struggled to be herself when she was there. And eventually she left. And there was so much of that tension for so many years. And she worked on herself. She liberated herself financially. She has a very successful channel. People invite her to, do these really cool projects and stuff. And recently her father reached out to her.
Oh.
And they made peace after all these years. So sometimes the peace doesn't happen in the moment, but if you really trust your truth and where life wants to take you and you follow that, eventually things will settle.
Madiha, one of the powerful expression a woman can trust her body is deciding how to bring soul into this life. And now I want to go deeper in your personal experience of home birth. So it's not very common to have this home birth.
Sometimes...
Why did you decide the deepest decision of making this step?
Yeah. I feel in a past life, if you believe in past lives, I don't know if you do, but some people don't, some people do. I feel I was a midwife. I feel so connected to this miracle of birthing. And so when I found out I was pregnant, I just knew at a core level that was my choice. It was done for me. I didn't even make the choice. But what I had to work through is the fear, the cultural pressure, a lot of the attacks I was getting, and any places where I had doubt that I could do it. So I slowly empowered myself, but there was no question whether that was the thing for me. And I took so many courses, read so many books, consulted so many experts. And in the West, this is very common. In Holland, one of my friends was giving birth in Holland. The norm is you give birth at home, and they even empower you. The government sends you a midwife on government stipend to take care of you, and even after birth, someone to come take care of you for I don't know how long. So it's also just relative to where we are. In some places, it's become fully accepted. In our part of the world, it's still a bit taboo. Still a bit, people are afraid because what they've been told is that hospitals are safer than homes. And the truth is, sometimes a woman really needs hospital. After my birth, after 4 or 5 hours, I went to the hospital to get stitched. And I had so much resistance to that because I was like, I committed to my home, to natural birth, and I ended up in the hospital like, ugh. But what I realized, it's not black or white. So I think what we just need to do is trust. If that voice comes, maybe you watch my video and you feel like, I want that. And the truth is, women know that they are giving away something when they hand their birth experience to an organization, an institution, a doctor. Even the language we use, a doctor who will deliver the baby. Excuse me, I just carried this baby for 9 months. It is my body that is expelling this baby with so much intensity. You are not the one to deliver this baby. And the doctor to be the first one to touch the baby, excuse me, but no thank you. My baby, my hands, my husband's hands. It's really a moment of power for a woman to reclaim natural birth. And not just that, because people say I'll do a natural birth at the hospital. The truth is, your body really reacts to environment. So what a woman needs to give birth naturally, without things coming up and issues, it's safety. She has to go into her limbic brain. It's that primordial kind of like animalistic brain where it just knows what to do. But if you're in a hospital and there's people and strangers you don't know, and lights and people dying in 5 rooms down, and like there's so much stress in the environment. Maybe we get to a point where hospitals become, you know, really healing havens. That would be a different story. Even birth centers, I love that that's amazing. That would be even better. But as long as that's not the case, for a woman to birth, she has to be in a space that feels safe. And what creates safety also? Environment. So the lighting, the music, the people around me that I know them. Like my midwife, I met her a few times before giving birth. I had deep conversations with her. I felt her soul. I felt why she does this. She's been passionate about giving birth since she was 15. She showed me her notebook where she did a presentation for school when she was 15. So it really takes informing ourselves, educating ourselves. And I'm not saying natural birth is better. This is
just
worse.
An option.
It's an option on the table.
To have the freedom to choose what
and
your
it goes
body
back
wants.
to sovereignty. As a woman, you have, like you were saying before, some women are not free. We are all born free. Freedom is our birthright. Choice is our most sacred technology. So even when we say, oh, I had to, or there is never one decision you made that was not yours. And that's where you take responsibility. Oh, but my mom didn't. There was one woman, so my midwife was helping her, but her husband wasn't allowing her to give birth at home. He wasn't for this, you know.
For the idea of this.
Yeah. And she just gave her power away, and she gave birth in the hospital, and she had a very traumatic birth. And it's like, oh, you know, they always hand over. It's because my husband. No. It's because you didn't have the strength to own your decision. And owning your decision means taking the risk, means bearing the consequence of your decision. Did I know I was taking a risk? Did I know maybe things would come that I cannot control? Did I know that this is a completely new experience that I would just have to navigate? Fully, but I was willing to take that risk. And I feel life is for the risk takers. If you're always just playing safe and doing what's comfortable, you will never get to the next level of life, to the next level of your power, to the next level of your creativity. And birthing, remember we were talking about rite of passage in puberty for women, that's the next one. I mean, marriage is one too, but this is the real rite of this is the transformation where a woman becomes a woman. Because this is where you know what your body is capable of, and this is where you feel something so primal in
I want to know about this. I want to know how this experience made you connect to your feminine energy.
I feel when we talk about feminine energy, usually we talk, you know, it's like that, like soft. It's almost like the maiden energy. And even in the women archetypes, we talk about archetypes. So there is the maiden, who is the woman who's so beautiful. She's in her spring. You know how the spring is like flowers and the wind and the mountain. It's so beautiful. It's so innocent. Blooming. And yet it's the blooming, right? It's not the summer. So the maiden is one version of this feminine energy. It's the innocence. And you know, when we get a bit older and we see those young girls or in teen, there's this like freshness of life. It's so beautiful. It fills our heart, yani. It fills our soul. And then there's another level of womanhood, which is the mother, which is more mature, which is you have passed through, literally in birth, they call it the ring of fire. There is a moment in birth where you just feel you cannot go forward. That's it. You've reached your capacity. You feel like your body is about to break open. You're about to die. And the truth is, a version of you does die in birth. The maiden dies for the mother to be born. And I read so many books that said that before becoming a mother. I didn't get it because these rites of passage are embodied. You have to have the experience to receive the download. And a part of the download is the death, the letting go of this completely free version of yourself.
What did you let go?
The completely free version of myself. And I'm still letting go. And that's why my postpartum was intense, because freedom is the thing for me. I would say 3 top values are freedom, beauty, and then connection and community. So freedom was always something I fought for when I was young. I told you, I was still a fighter, a rebel. And so when there was this moment, a reality check, which is what motherhood is, of like, you are not free anymore. Your decisions move around this beautiful new being. And this created a big plunge into the underworld for me for many months. And that's why when you were reaching out to me in the beginning, I was like, I am in a no place to inspire anyone. I need somebody to come and like inspire me in this moment, because I feel I am dying. I feel there's something I'm holding on to that I don't want to let go. That part of me is not accepting this new reality. And to become a mother, it's this process of letting go, but almost realizing that there is a deeper freedom in the maturity of responsibility. And I feel I'm still downloading that because it takes time.
Also, some women, they build attachment with the babies. Did you feel this?
For sure. Big time. Yeah, you
and some guilt also.
You feel you are one with this little person. And even your body, your heart. When I was pregnant, I used to call myself Mama Toto. And one of our students made me a beautiful song, Mama Toto, where you go with the flow. Because I was really enjoying this. It's really beautiful because at the time I read this, I don't remember which country in Africa, but they use the term Mama Toto, which means mother-child.
Okay.
Which means there's no longer a mother and a child in the way we usually talk about it. There's the mama and the baby. Mama Toto is one entity. It's the mother-child because I'm pregnant with the child inside me. And I feel even after the birth, you are still somehow the mother-child, Mama Toto. Because you are just fully attached, especially in the beginning when you're breastfeeding, in the beginning where just you have to be with the baby all the time. I feel as the baby grows, in the same way we cut the umbilical cord, we waited a bit, we didn't just cut it because usually more blood needs to flow before we cut the cord. This is another thing I learned when I was learning.
And you did this by your own hands?
Actually, Ihab cut the cord. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
This is deep, you know?
So deep.
Yeah.
It's so deep. Even we had the placenta. So we went to the hospital carrying the placenta, which was tied to the baby. And
I'm sure it needs a lot of courage.
Courage is the key. You want to live your life. Courage is your key. Always keep it in your pocket. Whenever you feel doubt that, oh, but this is different. Oh, but will I be accepted? Oh, but this is scary. You take the key and you put it in the door. And that's when you get to live the life of your dreams, because the life of your dreams means you are feeling it from the inside. And to feel it, it has to be yours. So that birth was my birth. And that's something nobody can take away from me.
How did you stay grounded through all the judgment that you had?
I never really struggled with judgments. I always felt like I don't care what people think. And I don't know if that's a gift that I've received from life, from the universe.
I'm sure it is.
I just always felt like I want to be me. I don't want to be anybody, and I don't want to be anybody else. And generally, with most of the things I wanted to do in my life, there's been like people not accepting it. Like I remember when I wanted to study abroad in India, they're like, diseases and this and that. And I made that decision again with ease because khalas, when I know I want to do something, I do it. I don't ask for permission. And I feel that's the issue with so many people. They ask for permission. They ask for validation. They wait for someone to say, yes, validation. You may go.
Definitely. Yes,
you are free. And the truth is you are free. You make the choice, but then you carry the consequence. So when I almost got kidnapped in India, that was, my experience from my decision, and I carry that. Nobody can take that responsibility or khalas, you take the decision and you carry what it comes with it. And that's the beauty of life. That's the beauty of sovereignty. And I think we all have some dose of that. And it's just a matter of increasing the dose slowly to become stronger, to trust your inner voice more. Because I feel in life, it's like we test. So I tried India. It was amazing. It was one of the best experiences of my life. I did like a arts and identity course, 6 months. And then I studied pilgrimage. At the end, you do your independent project. So I traveled up to the Ganga river, to the source of the Ganga. I met the holy men. I saw the spirituality of India, the sacred towns and cities. And I was 20 or something. I was a baby.
You experienced life.
And then that gave me more trust for the next decision that I would need to make to trust myself. And then the next, and then the next.
True.
And I feel the key is just to start with the small decisions. And then slowly the decisions will get more filled. Your self-trust will become a muscle that you can really rely on. It's like when you build muscles at the gym. At first, your muscles can't carry much. But then when you've been working out for a year, suddenly you're carrying these 50K and you're like, that's easy.
Yeah, you build it up. How do you think we can find our inner voice? Because finding inner voice, it seems easy, but some people, they struggle to know what this really means.
I don't buy that. I feel even the phrasing, you have to go find it. It's nowhere to be found. You just have to listen. And to listen, you have to create the space. So maybe meditate every day 10 minutes and see what's happening inside you. Connect with your higher self, connect with your inner guidance. And you can even put the intention, like, I'm creating these 10 minutes just to connect with my higher self and to listen. And you will start to hear very clearly. And some days you'll feel like there's nothing. There's no guidance, because the guidance is not... I think this is the main thing that people miss. The guidance that we receive in the world is loud from our parents, from the culture. It's linear. Do this, do this, do this. The inner guidance is completely different. It's more feminine.
True.
It's more subtle.
True.
It requires you to slow down and listen in order to listen it. But like a woman whom you treat well, the more you treat her well, the more she will give you. So the more you listen and respect and honor the sacred feminine, which is your inner voice, she will start to give you more of herself. So you don't have to go find her anywhere. You don't have to go to India and Varanasi and search for the holy men who live in the mountains and have meditated for 20 years. Because you will find her just finding a beautiful space in your home or your garden, sitting on the ground, feeling grounded on the earth, and listening. And if we just listen more, we will hear more. It's not metaphysical. It's very like grounded and simple.
Calm. Madiha, your work is rooted to a soul message. And every podcast I try to end this chapter with a message, because I believe we are born with a message. To all the women listening to us today, what is your message?
My message is that we came to earth to love life. It is our birthright to love life. So if you're not loving life right now, it means there are still things that you need to change or drop into, or choices you need to make that will create a life, situations, relationships, homes, communities that will make you love life. And once you start to follow, Joseph Campbell, he said, follow your bliss. Once you follow your bliss, you will have those moments of ecstatic joy and aliveness in life. And that's where you'll know that you are following your inner voice, that you have met the sacred feminine, and that you're on the right path. And that's all that's asked of you. Just be on the path.
Madiha, I'm so grateful for you, for your presence, for your time, and for your beautiful energy.